The 9,902nd meeting of the Security Council is called to order. The provisional agenda for today's meeting is the question concerning Haiti. The agenda is adopted.
The floor to the representative of the United States.
Thank you, Mr. President. And thank you, SRSG, Maria Isabel Salvador, Dr. Monica Juma, and Mrs. Pascal Solagen for your briefings today. I would also like to express appreciation for the efforts of the entire BNU team in Haiti. From the quarterly Secretary General report and the statements that the Council has heard just now, it is clear that there are harrowing trends of increased deaths, reports of sexual violence, and recruitment of children into gangs, and that Haiti continues to face serious challenges in both security and governance. We extend our condolences to the citizens of Haiti for the lives lost and to the people and government of Kenya for the loss of MSS police officers. SRSG Salvador, against this backdrop, we commend the efforts of you and your team to implement the BNU mandate. But as has been made clear in your report, the security situation is seriously hampering your ability to do so. Gang violence continues to disrupt the critical services BNU needs to fulfill its mandate. Currently, BNU maintains a skeleton team on the ground in Haiti, with all other personnel working remotely. Additionally, BNU's medical support has been limited to a single doctor, an alternating nurse, and one UN volunteer program doctor. BNU's team remains operationally hampered and limited in their ability to effectively carry out their mandate. As BNU and the SRSG have reiterated, a special political mission alone is neither mandated nor sufficient, even with security enhancements, to address the unprecedented challenges posed by escalating gang violence. Moreover, the country is woefully behind on the organization of elections and the restoration of democratic order. There remain deep concerns regarding safety and security in the broader Port-au-Prince area and increasingly in areas beyond the capital. The United States supports the statement issued by CARICOM condemning any actions to destabilize Haiti's governing institutions. We continue to support the ongoing efforts by the Kenya-led MSS mission to assist the Haitian National Police in countering these armed gangs. Corruption continues to remain a major issue. We condemn the actions of those who commit abuses of office, work with the gangs, participate in the trafficking of arms and ammunition. An environment that is permissive to such malign activities will only continue to fuel the gang violence and ensure that the situation is never resolved. We look forward to the Haiti panel of experts' upcoming recommendations for sanctions targets. The imposition of UN asset freezes, travel bans on gang leaders and their facilitators is an important tool the Security Council has to promote accountability for those destabilizing Haiti. Supporting anti-corruption efforts and promoting accountability for those responsible for abuses is imperative to facilitating a swift end to violence. Finally, we know the gravity of the security situation demands we address the long-term sustainability of the international community's stabilization efforts, both BNU and the MSS mission. The U.S. government continues to work closely with BNU, the Haitian government, the MSS mission, the Organization of American States, and the international community to drive progress forward. To that end, we encourage international stakeholders and donors to come to the table and contribute their fair share. While we remain determined to assist the Haitian people to achieve the peace, security, and prosperity they deserve, and while we acknowledge with gratitude those countries that have contributed to the MSS financially and in kind, America cannot continue shouldering such a significant financial burden. I thank you.
I give the floor to the representative of the Russian Federation.
Mr. President, we thank the Special Representative of the Secretary General, Madam Maria Salvador, for the briefing on the situation in Haiti. We are grateful to the National Security Advisor to the President of Kenya, Monica Juma, for her briefing. We listened closely to the statement delivered by the civil society representative, Madam Pascal Solage. We welcome the participation in today's meeting by the Minister for Foreign Affairs of Haiti and of the Dominican Republic. Mr. President, we are concerned by the ongoing deterioration of the situation in the country, especially the recent events which took place and the reports of threats of a coup and the ouster of the transitional authorities. In recent months, the criminal groups have further entrenched their control over the capital. They have seized the city of Nerbale, which has hitherto remained unafflicted by violence. We note the role of the National Police, the last remaining bulwark against rampant criminal groups. At the same time, we have been alarmed about information about the harrowing statistics of the human casualty toll as a result of skirmishes and the disproportionate use of force by law enforcement. The police has a duty to protect the civilian population, not to administer justice on the ground based on their own discretion. We trust that these new tactics which have been used, in the fight against criminal groups, such as the use of drones, that they will not cause ordinary Haitians to suffer. In this context, we continue not to see evidence of the role that is to be played in the stabilization of the country by the multinational security support force in Haiti. This is partially explained by the fact that the current numbers of the international contingent is insufficient even to control the situation in the capital, not to mention patrols in other regions and cities. In order to understand the effectiveness of the mission and the need for this, the UN Security Council needs to have more detailed information provided to it. Naturally, such briefings as today's statement delivered by the National Security Advisor to the President of Kenya, Monica Juma, enhance the transparency of the mission and boost trust in it. Mr. President, we have closely studied the proposal of the Secretary General to enhance the UN assistance to Haiti in the area of security. We stand ready to discuss these proposals with Security Council colleagues. At the same time, it is clear that the establishment of new UN structures and mandates take months, and the country, which is on the verge of catastrophe, simply does not have such time. We believe that the international community needs to prioritize the tool which is already at its disposal, namely the multinational mission. Donor states which have initiated its establishment and pledged a sustainable financing have a duty to fulfill their obligation and in order to ensure that the relevant Security Council mandate is duly implemented. Turning to Security Council sanctions, the imposition of such sanctions, as we have all had an opportunity to see, have not fundamentally changed the situation in the country. The authorities in Port-au-Prince are not apprised of the sanctions regime, and they have not been implementing it. As a result, it is simply not being fulfilled with. The arms embargo, which is nominally in effect, has not prevented the criminal groups from replenishing their arsenals. And Washington, despite the Sanctions Committee's instructions, has not undertaken the necessary measures in order to halt the illegal flow of weapons into the country. And we believe that sanctions in and of themselves cannot become a decisive factor in countering crime. To that end, there's a need first and foremost to reinforce national law enforcement bodies. Mr. President, the rampant crime in Haiti is no coincidence. This is a legitimate consequence of the deterioration of the situation in this long-suffering country where for a number of years now there has been an absence of a democratically elected government. It is becoming all the more clear that what was hastily put together in April 2024, I refer to the Transitional Presidential Council, that this council is not dealing with the situation appropriately and is not managing to fully to fulfill the credit of trust and the goodwill that was present when it was established. In this context, what is increasingly clear, the demand for a more representative government, more representative of Haitian society, and more reflective, that this demand is legitimate legitimate and understandable. We support the efforts that are geared towards organization of general elections and a constitutional referendum with a view to putting together a democratically elected government. At the same time, given the complete absence of security and competent government to deliver upon this, the feasibility of the conduct of elections within the timeline is increasingly in doubt. We believe that the long-term solution to the crisis is still the responsibility of the Haitians themselves, who need, without foreign interference, to formulate a coherent response to the comprehensive and manifold challenges faced by the country. We know that the people of Haiti know how to uphold their national interest and to protect the country from intervention. The country's history confirms this as a fact. A few days ago, the 200th anniversary of the recognition by Paris of independence of the Haitian state was commemorated. This recognition, which was accompanied by the shameful obligation of the so-called independence ransom, the first in history instance of reparations from the oppressed to the oppressor. As a result, a young Haitian state for 140 years had to pay of huge sums to the French colonizers. Before the independence of Port-au-Prince, they continuously over centuries literally siphoned off the country's natural wealth and brazenly exploited the local population. According to expert assessments, the amount of economic profits that were not received by Haiti due to the payment of this debt exceeds $20 billion. Under these circumstances, it is clear why the Haitian authorities and society are increasingly demanding reparations for compensation of these unjust payments. We fully support the just demands of Haiti, as well as those of other countries in the global south, to hold former colonial powers to account for the crimes perpetrated during the colonial era. This shameful history and page in global history needs to be definitively turned. Thank you. Floor 2, the representative of China.
President, I thank SRSG Salvador and National Security Advisor Juma for their briefings. I welcome the Foreign Minister of Haiti and the Dominican Republic to attend today's meeting. I've also listened carefully to the statements made by representatives of civil society. China is deeply concerned about the current deepening crisis in Haiti and the gun violence, the near collapse of the state, and the desperate situation of the population. I would like to make 3 points. First, Haiti must shoulder its own responsibility. As a sovereign nation, it bears the primary duty of governance. However, amidst the ongoing political deadlock coupled with persistent division amongst parties and factions, there's little hope of holding a general election as scheduled. We urge all parties in Haiti to prioritize the interest of the nation and its people, enhance dialogue and consultation, and demonstrate flexibility. It is crucial to work together to advance a political process that's truly Haitian-led and Haitian-owned, with the goal of establishing a legitimate, effective, and accountable government without delay. We urge the Haitian authorities to move away from the mindset of waiting, relying, and requesting. Instead, they must fulfill their duties with diligence, show true accountabilities, and prioritize the allocation of limited resources towards security and the well-being of the people. Addressing urgent challenges and steadily strengthening crisis response capability and resilience. This is the cornerstone of Haiti's ability to navigate multiple crises effectively and a necessary foundation for any external support to have impact. Secondly, external support must be impactful. The UN has been engaged in Haiti for 3 decades, deploying multiple PKOs and political missions. However, the outcomes have often fallen short relative to the scale of the efforts. It is essential to learn from past experience, address the root cause of the crisis, and deliver assistance that is more targeted, practical, and results-oriented. Regarding the political process, we must support CARICOM and BNU in continuing their good offices to expedite the implementation of the transitional arrangement that is aligned with the realities of Haiti and are widely recognized. In terms of security governance, it's important to encourage donor, regional countries, and organizations, amongst others, to deepen their cooperation with the Haitian authorities. The role of the MSS mission in Haiti should be strengthened to ensure the effective implementation of the Council's arms embargo and curbing the spread of illegal weapons and ammunition. Regarding humanitarian assistance, it is necessary to mobilize the resources of the international community, mobilize all parties to continue to provide more assistance to the Haitian people to alleviate their sufferings. Thirdly, the perpetrator must be held accountable. Haiti was the first Latin American country to declare independence. However, it has suffered from a long period of military occupation, external interference, and economic exploitation. Throughout this process, the United States has been the greatest external factor affecting Haiti's security, stability, and development. The U.S. has always been the mastermind behind the political situation in Haiti. For over a century, it has repeatedly intervened, blatantly deploying troops, installing puppet governments, manipulating Haiti's constitution, and entrenching itself in the country's political affairs. Just a year ago, the U.S. orchestrated the current political transition arrangements in Haiti. Yet now, following a change in its own government, it has turned a blind eye to that very transition, leaving Haiti mired in internal conflict and turmoil. The U.S. has been the main source of weapons for Haiti. The reports of the UNODC and the panel of experts of the Sanction Committee has repeatedly pointed out this fact. Although the U.S. agreed to the Security Council's imposition of an arms embargo on the entire territory of Haiti, yet it has always been perfunctory in its implementation, allowing illegal weapons to flow into Haiti from Florida. As a result, Haitian gangs are even better equipped than the Haitian police. The U.S. has always been the de facto leader on security matters in Haiti. In October 2023, it spearheaded the organization of the MSS mission, pledging financial support. However, more than a year later, its actual contributions have been quite minimal. At one point, it even attempted to convert the mission into a UNPKO, citing a lack of funds, an apparent act to shift the burden onto the UN and its member states, treating them as little more than an ATM machine. The U.S. has been a major source of interference in Haiti's development. While it claims to support the Haitian people, it has significantly cut foreign aid and continued deporting Haitian immigrants on the pretext of national priorities, precisely when Haiti is in dire need of support. What is even more shocking is that not long ago, while the U.S. defined world opinion by imposing sweeping tariffs on all trade partners, it also extended its so-called baseline tariff of 10% to Haiti, one of the world's least developed countries as defined by the UN. This display of unilateralism, protectionism, and economic bullying isn't just aimed at the so-called competitors like China. It is also inflicted on a nation teetering on the edge of collapse, such as a fragile country like Haiti, where the people are in dire strait. The suffering it causes is not only cruel and absurd, it's also profoundly heartbreaking. We hope that the U.S. will reflect on all of the above. Haiti's future and destiny should not be sacrificed to the U.S. pursuit of its own strategic interests, nor should being too close to the U.S. become a curse for Haiti. Lastly, China expresses its deep sympathy for the Haitian people in their time of hardship. We commend the efforts of BNU and other multilateral organizations dedicated to supporting Haiti, and we welcome the constructive engagement of CARICOM and other countries in the region. We recognize the work of the MSS mission led by Kenya. The international community should maintain its support to help Haiti strengthen its institution, enhance its capacity, and advance towards a path of independence, self-reliance, and sustainable development. During this process, China stands ready to continue playing a constructive role in this collective effort. I thank you.
I will now make a statement in my capacity as a representative of France. I thank the Special Representative of the Secretary General, Ms. Maria Isabel Salvador, for her briefing, and I thank Ms. Pascale Saudage, who reminded us of the terrible plight of Haitian women, the first victims of the cruel violence of armed gangs. And I thank the representative for Ms. Juma for her briefing as well. I also welcome the presence of the Foreign Affairs Minister of Haiti and the Foreign Affairs Minister of the Dominican Republic at our meeting today. Port-au-Prince, assailed from all sides by armed gangs, is sliding into the abyss, to quote the Secretary General. We must do our utmost to prevent this from happening and to re-establish security. Without security, there can be no progress made in the process of political transition. The re-establishment of democratic institutions and the rule of law in Haiti are necessary steps to put an end to the multi-dimensional crisis that the country has been faced with for far too long. The widespread violations of human rights and international humanitarian law that the Haitian people have been experiencing must come to an end. And this particularly pertains to women and girls. And the Women, Peace and Security statement is something that we fully align with. France condemns all attempts of destabilization of the transitional authorities, as was indicated in the public communication with the UK on the 16th of April. The National Police of Haiti continues. They must have their means strengthened, and they continue to fight courageously to protect the state institutions with the support of the MSS. In this regard, France welcomes the commitment of the TCCs, and in particular Kenya, and we would like to express our sincere condolences to Kenya upon the loss of 2 of their nationals. France will continue supporting the MSS, to which we have already contributed $10 million. This mission must be better equipped in terms of troop and equipment to prevent the gangs from expanding and to recover the territories that they already do control. We need to redouble efforts to provide Haiti with support that the country urgently needs. France stands alongside Haitian men and women. We are doing so by providing humanitarian aid to combat food insecurity and to provide assistance to people who have been displaced. In 2024, this was 16.5 million euros out of a total of 40 million euros of donations provided by France to Haiti last year. France shares a common history with Haiti marked by tragedy. This requires memory work in which the President of the Republic has committed to do by announcing on the 17th of April the establishment of a Haitian-French mixed commission which will examine our common past. Above and beyond this, France advocates greater involvement of the United Nations in Haiti. To those who would be tempted to lose hope of our ability to act together, I would recall that we're not just talking about the unprecedented needs of the Haitian people, but also a situation that is a threat to international peace and security and for the region and its neighbors as well. We are convinced that the United Nations can provide strategic and operational expertise as well as essential logistical support. It is in this viewpoint that we have stated that since October 2024, we responded to the request from Haiti for there to be an MSS and for that to move towards a peacekeeping operation. We have taken note of the recommendation made by the Secretary General in February 2025, which indicates transition towards a peacekeeping operation that could happen in a second stage after reducing the gang's territorial control. Now we need to make headway. We are willing to work with all member states of this council to find an acceptable solution for all in the short term to allow us to strengthen the international support to the security of Haiti. In addition to the multinational mission, this council must use all levers that it has to combat the gangs and transnational organized crime networks fueling them. This means the full implementation of the arms embargo and individual sanctions, as well as the implementation of these sanctions against those who support the gangs. BINU, who we fully support, also has a role to play to support the action of the Haitian authorities in this area. It must have the necessary means for it to fulfill its mandate. Thank you. I now resume my function as President of the Council, and I give the floor now to the Permanent Representative of Haiti.
Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wish to thank you for giving me the opportunity to address myself to the Security Council during this critical time for Haiti. I wish, first and foremost, to convey the regrets of the Minister for Foreign Affairs of Haiti, His Excellency Jean-Victor Avel Jean-Baptiste, who unfortunately has been unable to participate in today's meeting. I also wish to convey to you the warm congratulations of my delegation on the occasion of France's presidency of the Security Council this month of April. Your enlightened leadership is critical in steering our discussions at this critical time. I wish to convey our gratitude to the Secretary General for the presentation of his updated report on the situation in Haiti and for his letter dating 24 February 2025 with important strategic recommendations to step up United Nations support for the multinational security support force led by Kenya. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to participate in the conference between Presidents Alphonse Jean and Madame Juma, and both of them recalled the fact that assistance that their countries will continue to deliver to the mission was reaffirmed. I wish to welcome the representative of the Secretary General in Haiti, Madame Maria Isabel Salvador, and applaud her on the high quality of her briefing during the courtesy visit which she carried out and to the mission last week. We had an opportunity to commend her on her commitment vis-a-vis Haiti. I also wish to recognize the excellent briefing delivered by Pascal Solage, and I thank you for the extraordinary work that your organization, Neges Mawan, has been doing in Haiti. I welcome the presence of the distinguished Minister for Foreign Affairs of the Dominican Republic among us as well. Thank you. I will not reiterate here the figures that have been set out in the report that Madame Salvador and most speakers have mentioned. I simply will highlight some of the progress that has been achieved. Sustained efforts have been undertaken to that end vis-a-vis the reform of the Haitian national peace with in March 2025. The formal reopening of the court of the first instance was held in Port-au-Prince, and on that occasion, the government announced a historic investment of 31 billion gourd for the Haitian National Police, including 7 billion for the acquisition of strategic equipment, and 4.4 billion gourds for the modernization of the Haitian armed forces under the amended budget. At the judicial level, initiatives have been undertaken to counter impunity, and efforts are underway to relaunch the judicial system as well as to restore trust in public institutions. To that end, 2 secure specialized branches have been established, one to address mass crimes and sexual violence, and the other to address white-collar crime. And it behooves me to note that these branches are part of the DDR component of BNU. The government has also stepped up its humanitarian assistance, specifically through the distribution of tarps and hot meals for climate-related displaced persons. These initiatives attest to a clear desire to restore the authority of the state, to protect its citizens, and to guarantee access to justice, as well as to rebuild the foundations of governance. The government has been collaborating proactively with international partners to ensure that there is effective and efficient coordination of humanitarian assistance, and seeking as well to enhance accountability mechanisms. These steps reflect the meaningful political will to restore the authority of the state, to protect its people, and to establish conducive conditions for sustainable and inclusive development. Notwithstanding the efforts that have been undertaken, President, by the Haitian authorities and the international community, it is evident, as was stressed by the Special Representative of the Secretary General, that the results have been far from the goals that have been set. In this vein, we appreciate and value the proposal of the Secretary General, which has been set out in the letter dating 24 February 2025. This proposal warrants particular attention by the Security Council, and it dovetails with the requests set out by the Presidential Transitional Council and can offer a more structured and efficient framework for the coordination of international assistance. It is critical that this initiative be enhanced in order to allow the international community to deliver a more robust, coherent, and sustainable response to the current challenges faced by Haiti. We have an obligation to explore all ways to definitively eradicate the issue of armed gangs in Haiti. You are aware that the Republic of Haiti is dying by 1,000 cuts through the concerted actions of narcotics traffickers in weapons, and armed gangs. As their extreme situations require extreme solutions. Extreme situations require extreme solutions. In that vein, the Republic of Haiti stands ready to discuss and to support, where necessary, any initiative from traditional partners to help the country eradicate the armed gangs which have been terrorizing the population. Armed gangs leaders and allies have been giving regular interviews to foreign media outlets, and they have not been concealing their identity as if to taunt the authorities and the Haitian National Police and the Multinational Security Support Force. Others are very much involved in transnational criminal networks. Liquidating them is a paramount priority. Mr. President, I cannot but conclude with the following mention. The French president honored the promise made to President Leslie Voltaire when he visited Paris. His declaration on the relationship between France and Haiti on the 17th of April last paves the way for dialogue and mutual understanding, which will help to prompt the establishment of a just solution for Haiti, which is acceptable for France, as part of an approach of reparation without retaliation, cooperation without humiliation, and recognition without confrontation. Thank you. Now give the floor to the representative of the United Kingdom.
Thank you, Mr. President. We thank the Special Representative of the Secretary General, NSA Juma, and Ms. Seige for their briefings. We also welcome the Foreign Minister of the Dominican Republic and the Ambassador of Haiti to the Chamber. The UK is extremely concerned by the significant escalation of violence in Haiti. Over 2,600 Haitians have been murdered over the past 3 months, including nearly 400 women and children. We continue to hear horrifying accounts of sexual and gender-based violence targeting women, girls, and boys. 1/3 of cases of sexual violence against children in Haiti in 2024 were gang rapes. Through coordinated attacks on civilian communities, including the deliberate destruction of schools, churches, and businesses, gangs continue to target the innocent and inflict horror on the people of Haiti. Mr. President, there are troubling reports of coordination between criminal gangs in order to destabilize Haiti's Transitional Presidential Council as they try to ensure security across the country. We firmly reject all acts designed to destabilize Haiti. The UK is committed to maintaining pressure through the implementation of sanctions on those who seek to destabilize Haiti, and we call for the full implementation of the UN sanctions regime and the arms embargo in Haiti. The UK supports the efforts of Haiti's Transitional Presidential Council, Prime Minister Seige, and all stakeholders to work towards a secure, and stable Haiti. But now is the time for even greater action to restore security and to allow for elections to enable a transfer of power to an elected successor in February 2026. This includes an urgent need for the Haitian National Police, supported by the Multinational Security Support Mission, to re-establish control over all areas of Port-au-Prince. The UK thanks Kenya for its continued leadership of the MSS mission and pays tribute to those, both Kenyan and Haitian, who have lost their lives in the pursuit of restoring security for the Haitian people. In light of the deteriorating security situation, it is clear that the MSS mission and Haitian security forces need to be adequately supported to fulfill their mission. This Council needs urgently to consider the recommendations of the Secretary-General and agree how we can support enhanced UN security support to Haiti. Collectively, we must find a way to deliver stability and lasting peace for the people of Haiti. Thank you.
Je remercie.
I thank the representative of the United Kingdom for the statement, and I give the floor to the permanent representative of Greece.
President, I would like to thank SRSG Maria Isabel Salvador, Ms. Juma, and Ms. Solange for the briefings. I would also like to welcome His Excellency the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Dominican Republic and the permanent representative of Haiti in this meeting. Mr. President, Greece is deeply concerned by the precarious security situation in Haiti and the increasing gang violence that exacerbates the dire humanitarian situation and aims at destabilizing the government. We condemn any attempts by gangs to change the political status quo in the country, as well as the human rights violations they commit. In this framework, allow me to make 3 points. First, restoring security conditions in Haiti is an absolute prerequisite for the political transition and the peaceful holding of elections. In this regard, we commend the Multinational Security Support Mission and Kenya for its leadership, as well as all contributing countries for the support to Haiti National Police. We appreciate the delivery of police vehicles and related equipment by UNOPS and UNODC, and believe that these enhanced capabilities of the Haitian police will soon be reflected in the performance with a view to curbing the rising numbers of homicides, abductions, destruction of public and private properties, and attack on media outlets and killing of journalists, and to protecting the most vulnerable groups of the population. In fact, women and children bear the brunt of the violence in Haiti. We condemn sexual and gender-based violence against women and girls, which is used by gangs as a tool of power and control over the population, and call for the provision of appropriate services to victims and survivors, including sexual and reproductive health. We urge immediate cessation of the recruitment and use of children by gangs, which have reached unprecedented levels, with children making up 50% of gang members. We acknowledge the potential positive impact that the community violence reduction measures taken by the government could have on Haiti's future generations, and we underline the role of education in this regard. Women, peace and security, as well as children in armed conflicts, are highly critical issues in Haiti, so we pay special attention to these matters, being also part of the priorities for the Security Council term, in view also of a forthcoming UN Security Council presidency next month. Secondly, in order to tackle gang violence, it is imperative to control criminal activity in Haiti, such as illicit arms and drug trafficking. Strict border and port controls are essential, as is a thorough implementation of the arms embargo and the sanctions regime. We remain ready to consider additional measures in this regard. Thirdly, Greece supports an inclusive and sustainable Haitian-led political transition aimed at restoring the rule of law and stability in the country. We commend progress in the preparation for completing the transfer of power by February 2026 in an inclusive manner with the active participation of women and youth. We appreciate the inclusion of women in the consultation of the production of a draft constitutional text, as well as the appointment of 30% of women as members of the electoral offices. We reiterate the need for free, fair, participatory, peaceful and inclusive elections, and we urge the Haitian authorities to promote good governance and accountability and to prioritize the fight against corruption. In view of the above, we read with interest the Secretary General's proposal on providing the MSS with UN logistical and operational support, taking into consideration the positive reactions by the Haitian authorities and the region, in particular CARICOM, and we stand ready to work constructively on this matter with our fellow Security Council members. Mr. President, in conclusion, I would like to express Greece's gratitude to the United Nations Integrated Office in Haiti and to the Special Representative of the Secretary General for the engagement with all national stakeholders. On our part, we stand ready to support a Haitian-led political solutions that respond to security and socio-economic challenges and addresses the root causes of the country's instability. I thank you.
Je remercie.
I thank the permanent representative of Greece for a statement, and I give the floor to the permanent representative of Denmark.
Thank you, Mr. President. And let me also thank Special Representative Salvador, National Security Advisor Juma, and Ms. Solage for their sobering briefings today. I also welcome His Excellency the Foreign Minister of the Dominican Republic and the Permanent Representative of Haiti to the Chamber here this morning. Mr. President, as has been made clear in recent reports and the briefings here today, Haiti is running out of time. Armed gangs continue to expand their arsenals and territory, with more than 85% of Port-au-Prince under their control. The fall of the capital into the hands of gangs is a possibility we cannot dismiss and cannot allow. Allow me to make 3 points. First, establishing security must be prioritized. The Haitian National Police continue to face heightened levels of violence, insecurity, and crumbling state authority. To this end, Denmark strongly supports the multinational security support mission, and we're in the final stages of approving a grant for the MSS via the UN Trust Fund. However, in the face of this serious escalation, Denmark strongly believes there should be a greater UN involvement in Haiti. We thank the Secretary General for his recommendations and look forward to working with the Council on next steps. Denmark also strongly supports the use of targeted sanctions to address gang violence, criminal activities, and human rights abuses in Haiti. We call for greater implementation of the arms embargo and new names added to the sanctions list, including through the listing criterion for sexual and gender-based violence. Second, Mr. President, we must urgently address the dire human rights and humanitarian situations in Haiti. Between January and March this year, more than 1,500 people have been reported killed, with gang members displaying extreme brutality aimed to instill fear in the population. As we heard today from Ms. Solage, no one is spared from this violence. Women and girls are exposed to widespread sexual and gender-based violence, with horrific accounts of abductions, rape, and executions. According to UNICEF, grave violations against children in 2024 surged 12-fold from the previous year. Such astounding violence demands more than our collective condemnation. There must be accountability for these crimes, which will require a strengthening of state institutions. The Haitian government must work to build a cohesive criminal justice system, including strengthening of the police, the judiciary, and correction system to end widespread impunity. Haitian authorities must also implement stronger measures to ensure their operations comply with international human rights. Meanwhile, Haiti's humanitarian crisis continues to deteriorate. 5.7 million people are acutely food insecure, with some even in famine-like conditions. Humanitarian and health workers face frequent attacks as gangs target hospitals and control essential roads, disrupting the flow of aid. Denmark reiterates that humanitarian and health workers must never be a target. Ensuring their safety and security is crucial for their life-saving work. Third, Mr. President, Haitians deserve progress on the political track. Less than a year remains of the roadmap for the restoration of democratic institutions. Significant improvements in security must be made before the holding of free, fair, and inclusive elections. We strongly urge the Transitional Presidential Council, Prime Minister, and key stakeholders to work together, fight corruption, and prioritize the security and well-being of the Haitian people over personal gain. We condemn any attempt to replace the traditional arrangements by force. Mr. President, in closing, our briefers have described a country engulfed in crisis and in need of urgent support. This Council must work to match the urgency of this crisis with resolve. We must ensure Haiti remains high on our agenda. Denmark stands ready to work with all Council members to this end. I thank you.
Je donne la parole.
I give the floor to Madam Maria Isabel Salvador, Special Representative of the Secretary General for Haiti and head of the UN Integrated Office in Haiti. You have the floor, Madam. Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished members of the Security Council, Excellencies. I thank you for once again welcoming me and in addressing you at this critical juncture for Haiti. Since my last briefing to the Council in January, the security situation in Haiti has further deteriorated. This time, I wish to sound the alarm and issue a call to help you to better understand what is liable to become a point of no return in the Haitian crisis.
Organized criminal groups have launched coordinated attacks to expand territorial control and undermine state authority. They targeted Kenskov, the last road out of Port-au-Prince not fully under gang control, and advanced simultaneously into Delmas, downtown Port-au-Prince, and Pétionville, areas previously spared, deepening the city's destabilization. Attacks also spread across the West, Center, and Artibonite departments, signaling a strategy to stretch national security forces. Most recently, gangs seized Mirbalais. During the attack, over 500 inmates were freed in the fifth prison break-in under a year, part of a deliberate effort to entrench dominance, dismantle institutions, and instill fear. The scale and duration of this violence overwhelmed the Haitian National Police, despite support from the Armed Forces of Haiti and the Multinational Security Support Mission, further obstructing stabilization. In February and March alone, 1,086 people were killed and 383 others injured. According to the International Organization for Migration, over 60,000 were forcibly displaced in the past 2 months, adding to the 1 million already displaced by December 2024. These numbers are expected to rise. Monsieur le Président.
Mr. President, the magnitude of the violence has sown panic among the Haitian population. They fear the complete collapse of the state under pressure of criminal groups. Many people have organized themselves to protect their residential areas, their families, and their communities. In recent days, frustration has prompted thousands of citizens to take to the streets calling for more efficient measures, whereas certain politicians have exploited this growing insecurity in order to challenge the authorities in place. National authorities have stepped up their efforts to, within their means, enhance the capabilities of the security forces and to improve coordination between the police, the Haitian Armed Forces, and the multinational security support mission. On the 14th of April, a revised budget was adopted to support the capabilities of the police and the army. It is critical for any future measure to enhance the security institutions within respect for the rule of law, for this to be under civilian authorities, and for this to be in accordance with human rights standards. Nevertheless, it behooves me to be frank, responsible, and honest. Any effort undertaken by the Haitian government's efforts alone will be insufficient to significantly reduce the intensity of the violence perpetrated by criminal groups.
In this context, and this might sound repetitive, stepping up international support for Haiti is more critical than ever, particularly through increased funding and operational capacity for the multinational security support mission. I commend Kenya's steadfast leadership and thank all contributing member states. But at this critical juncture, all member states must increase support to Haiti's security forces, particularly the multinational security support mission, not as a matter of choice, but of necessity, as no viable alternative remains. The Secretary General's 24 February letter to the Council provides proposals that must be urgently considered. Monsieur le Président,
Mr. President, Excellencies.
Security crisis affects all aspects of life in Haiti. The UN's presence is also strained. The ongoing isolation of the capital due to suspended commercial flights since November 2024 and blocked road access remains the greatest operational challenge. In response, BNU and UN agencies have adopted hybrid modalities and reduced their presence in Port-au-Prince to maintain operations and deliver life-saving support. However, without sufficient and predictable funding, even a minimal UN presence may become unsustainable, jeopardizing our ability to meet mandate priorities. I thank the World Food Programme and UNHAS for ensuring access under extreme constraints and urge continued and scaled-up support to WFP Haiti. Without this critical lifeline, UN operations could be further reduced at a time when the country needs us most. Monsieur le Président,
Mr. President, despite the tremendous security challenges, the Haitian authorities, with support from BNU, have adopted measures to facilitate the advancement of the political process. The Presidential Transition Council is under the leadership of Mr. Fritz Jean, has reaffirmed the commitment to hold elections to transfer the power to the elected authorities by February 2026, in accordance with the agreement arrived at 1 year ago. The Steering Committee for the National Conference has engaged in wide-ranging consultations within the country's departments, as well as with the diaspora, on constitutional review, and the Provisional Electoral Council has launched consultations with political stakeholders and civil society and made headway in administrative and logistical preparations. UNDP has reshaped its electoral support plan, and a task force of UN agencies under the leadership of BNU was established on the basis of the recommendations of the Needs Assessment Mission. Despite this progress, many are concerned about the feasibility of the timeline, as well as the security-related deterioration which has compromised essential preparations for the organization of a referendum and inclusive, participatory, and credible elections.
engaging constructively on how to realistically advance electoral preparations, while understanding that restoring security and a stable environment is essential to end the cycle of transitional arrangements and replace it with democratically elected institutions. In light of the deterioration environment and based on the Secretary General's message, it is vital to align BNU's scope with on-the-ground realities. Strategic prioritization of the mandate, grounded in the current security context and available resources, is essential to allow the mission, the political mission, to deliver meaningfully on core responsibilities: political dialogue, national capacity support, community violence reduction, human rights protection, and enabling conditions for democratic renewal. This is a call to focus BNU's efforts where they can be most impactful, sustainable, and credible. Amid widespread insecurity, BNU continues to support governance improvements and political progress. We are working closely with the newly appointed National Commission for Disarmament, Dismantlement, and Reintegration. Its installation reflects determination by national authorities to advance despite the challenges. The work on the National Strategy for Community Violence Reduction and a draft law on weapons and ammunition are steps towards reducing violence. I welcome the government's recent decree creating specialized judicial units to address heinous crimes, financial crimes, and corruption, and its commitment to prosecuting white-collar criminals and financiers of criminal groups, as well as strengthening control over arms and illicit trafficking. The UN in Haiti has long supported these efforts through advocacy and technical assistance. I urge the authorities to implement these measures without delay. I also call on this Council to renew its engagement and support for the Sanctions Committee and panel of experts, including by adding names to the sanctions list and urging member states to fully enforce the arms embargo. Justice is a system. It requires every party to act for it to function. Haiti's humanitarian crisis has reached critical levels. Cholera outbreaks and gender-based violence, especially in displacement sites, are widespread. Insecurity has closed 39 health facilities and over 900 schools in Port-au-Prince. I urge member states to support the 2025 humanitarian response plan. The UN remains committed to helping deliver life-saving assistance, especially to women, girls, and children, and to promoting social peace through government-led efforts. Monsieur le Président, Haiti has reached a pivotal moment. As I have already said, we are approaching a point of no return. As gang violence continues to spread to new areas of the country, Haitians experience growing levels of vulnerability and increasing skepticism about the ability of the states to respond to their needs. The national security forces, while deploying their utmost effort, cannot succeed without a unified strategic command structure free from political interference, and operating under civil authority. In addition, they require more specialized anti-gang units, better equipment, and improved working conditions. However, and it must be said, without timely, decisive, and concrete international assistance, the security situation in Haiti may not change. Haiti could face total chaos, and your quick answer will contribute to the solution of such stark deterioration. I urge you to remain engaged and answer the pressing needs of the country and its people. For its part, notwithstanding the enormous security challenges that we face, BNU, as mandated by this Council, will spare no effort in supporting the Haitian-led political process towards the restoration of peace and democratic institutions as soon as conditions are met. Thank you.
Je remercie.
I thank the Special Representative of the Secretary General for a briefing, a very elucidating briefing, and I now give the floor to Madam Monica Juma, National Security Advisor to the President of Kenya. You have the floor, Madam.
Thank you, Mr. President. As I express my gratitude for the invitation to make a statement, I commend you, and through you, the French delegation, for the exemplary stewardship of the Security Council during the month of April. I thank the SRSG, Maria Isabella Salvador, for her comprehensive brief on the current situation and work of BNU in Haiti, as well as in Haiti. I also acknowledge with gratitude the participation of Ambassador Eric Pierre, the PR of Haiti, to this meeting. Mr. President, I commend all members of the Security Council for their continued support to the Republic of Haiti, which is a strong affirmation of international solidarity with the people of Haiti as they grapple with multiple complex interrelated crises with resilience and determination. The current security situation in Haiti, in particular the West and Abonite departments, is dynamic and fluid. Since the last briefing, Haiti has witnessed an upsurge in gang violence extending beyond the capital. The gangs under the Vive Assem coalition are coordinating attacks within and beyond Port-au-Prince in an effort to overstretch and overwhelm both the HNP and MSS resources. These attacks are threatening the relative gains made since the deployment of the MSS nearly a year ago. In spite of this worrying situation, hope remains. This hope is sustained by an enduring resilience of the Haitian people who, against many odds, refuse to be hostage to gangs. It is sustained by the resolute effort of political leadership who seek to restore state authority and democratic governance. It is sustained by the ongoing work of the MSS and the steadfast support of this council. Kenya is honored to lead this mission. And although the deployment today stands at less than 40% of the anticipated 2,500 personnel provided for in the concept of operation, the MSS has entered a decisive phase of its operation. As the gangs coordinate their operations, attack populations, strategic installations, and threaten the political establishment, this mission continues to serve as a vital enabler in facilitating humanitarian access, delivery of some essential services, including education, and the revival of some economic activity in areas that were previously fully under gang control. The MSS has also been critical in securing the administration and government institutions, and even recently in helping to forestall an attempt at hostile takeover of the administration. These ongoing security efforts are a basis upon which the security and political progress can be built. I also wish to commend the courage and determination of the Haitian National Police as well as the Army in the ongoing efforts to restore security against many odds. I also recognize the dedication of the MSS contingent and extend sincere appreciation to the contributing member states, the Bahamas, Belize, Jamaica, Canada, El Salvador, Guatemala, that have joined in with Kenya in this vital mission. Their unwavering commitment and selfless sacrifice in support of Haiti's stability and security is commendable. But even more important, it is a clear demonstration, Council, that this is a mission possible. Despite considerable challenges, the NHP, in collaboration with the MSS, have launched intensive anti-gang operations, including last night, and achieved some notable progress, particularly in securing critical infrastructure and denying the gangs a foothold and stronghold on the country. This progress achieved is a clear demonstration that there is potential for success. The MSS has the right mandate. The MSS has the right officers with the right competences, and the political leadership is keen to restore security. What the mission needs is to be fully deployed and adequately enabled. An urgent expansion of the MSS personnel is therefore essential in order to deliver the intended impact and meet the legitimate high expectations of the Haitian people. In Kenya today, a total of 261 officers who are trained and mission ready remain on standby for deployment but are unable to get to theater because of lack of equipment and logistic support. While I extend heartfelt appreciation to all member states for their generous contribution of funds, equipment, and logistic support, including through the Trust Fund for Haiti, a significant gap persists that hinders the desired mission effectiveness. The MSS is operating at suboptimal level in terms of numbers of officers in theater, in terms of types and range of assets available to the mission, including force multipliers, and in terms of logistical support to catalyze enhanced operations and to enable the establishment of critically needed forward operating bases. In this regard, Kenya commends the United Nations Security Council for its ongoing efforts to address the challenges facing the MSS, which culminated in the request for a comprehensive assessment of the situation in Haiti and the potential options for the UN involvement. We also acknowledge the report of the Secretary General submitted in February. Kenya reiterates the undeniable necessity for the Council to take more assertive and proactive role in Haiti's stabilization in accordance with its mandate to maintain peace and security. I urge this Council to continue to demonstrate the same unity of purpose in the upcoming deliberations on Haiti, with a steadfast focus on the need of the Haitian people who rightfully deserve a secure and stable future. As a lead nation, I deeply appreciate the positive consultations we continue to hold with members of the Council and remain hopeful of an expeditious determination of a way forward that builds on and consolidates progress made. Excellencies, time is of essence. A critical success factor for this mission is the curbing of the flow of illegal arms and ammunition to spoilers in general and gangs in particular. Webs of transnational criminal networks engaged in trafficking of arms and drugs continue to fuel insecurity and fragility in Haiti. In this regard, Kenya calls for firm and rigorous implementation of the sanctions regime adopted by this Council by all relevant members in order to curtail the flow of weapons to the gangs. This will not only deny the gangs weapons, but also reduce the risk exposure to the MSS officers in theater. I must reiterate that while the MSS is a critical and innovative intervention, it is only part of the solution. Haiti stability will only be accomplished and work closely with BINU, the UN country team, and the Haitian government as they align their efforts to improve security and political situation. Finally, I reaffirm Kenya's unwavering solidarity with our Haitian brothers and sisters, and also reaffirm our commitment to continue working with this Council in efforts seeking to restore security to Haiti and its people in line with the United Nations Security Council 2699. I thank you, Mr. President.
Merci, Madame la...
I thank the National Security Advisor to the President of Kenya for his statement, and especially for Kenya's commitment to peace and security in Haiti. And I now give the floor to Madame Pascale Solage, co-founder and general coordinator of Neges Mawan.
Merci, Monsieur.
Thank you, President. Ladies and gentlemen, Haiti is much more than a country in crisis. It is a country in full-blown conflict, with a state that is absent and that has no ability to provide for people's needs. People are simply abandoned to their own fate. It's a country where the bodies of millions of women are mutilated and used as a weapon of war every day. 9 feminist organizations and human rights organizations, including Neges Mawan, whom I'm representing here, have presented a report on assistance offered to women and girls who've survived violence between January and October 2024. Over these 10 months, 9 organizations provided support to over 3,000 women and girls who survived sexual violence. But the realities of Haitian women are much more than figures and reports. We're talking about names, faces, dreams, destinies, and lives that have been broken. It's Gerda, a young 16-year-old girl who was kept captive and raped by several women for 3 days, who then got pregnant and contracted HIV in a country where abortion is entirely criminalized. She was able to go back to school and brilliantly succeeded in her studies. It's Françoise, who was raped by 6 men in the presence of her 3 children and her companion, who was then killed in front of them. Nadine, who was unable to recover from gang rape, who tried to kill herself and miraculously survived before coming to our organization for help. It's all of these girls who have suffered, and this includes those who were killed, such as Beatrice Cajou. We have seen our rights to security, health, work, justice, housing, and education just disappear. Our right to life. Haitian women are the first to bear the brunt of the economic crisis, even though they are responsible for caring for more than half of Haitian families. The historic inequalities that we're facing in Haiti are now being exacerbated by the impacts of the crisis. But Haitian women are far from only being victims. We are also active players in the change that we're demanding. We are on the ground in spite of the risks and the almost entire lack of resources. We are stating what we need, and we refuse to be simply overlooked. We need to assume this ownership to overcome this crisis, which is defined by the principles of the Women, Peace and Security agenda, which this Council has rubber-stamped. Today, even though the Constitution requires 30% of women in decision-making forum, this is being entirely overlooked, and we are entirely underrepresented within the transitional council, within the government and other decision-making fora. A transition power that has shown no political will whatsoever to implement a plan or an agenda for the Haitian women. After about a year of the presence of the multinational force in Haiti, no progress has been seen and no change has been made for the benefit of Haitian women. On the contrary, we are still thinking about the trauma that we suffered in the past, principally as a result of MINUSTA. This multinational force must fully respect international law and bear in mind the gender issues as well. The international community must show real solidarity. We recommend the full implementation of the Women, Peace and Security agenda to ensure that women are involved in conflict resolution. Our concerns and specific needs need to be borne in mind in security policies. A feminist approach is critical to ensure this, because inclusion means more than just box ticking. It means reflecting genuine commitments to the women's rights agenda. The Haitian government must be encouraged to implement the recommendations within the political transition to ensure that this is borne in mind, and it has been endorsed by more than 180 organizations in Haiti. The Council must impose binding measures to prevent weapons from getting into Haiti, because they are what is fueling the gang violence. These principally come from the United States. The government must be encouraged to follow up the recommendations from civil society organizations, including our own, who have proposed judicial instruments to prosecute those responsible for financial and sexual crimes, and for putting in place a transitional justice instrument to ensure accountability and also guarantee the inclusion of women who have survived these acts. The government must strengthen specialized units on gender-based violence and include them within the national police, and do the same within the multinational support. mission as well. The Haitian people need to decide the future of their nation. However, the major support that we need depends on the international community, who must support the priorities that Haitians have defined, must shoulder responsibility for some of the crisis and repair the harm done to our nation, such as France's acknowledgement of its debt to Haiti from its independence 200 years ago. We need a coordinated multilateral approach to re-establish order and to ensure a lasting stability in the country. Thank you. I would like to thank you for your briefing. I now give the floor to the representative of Panama. Thank you very much, President, Your Excellencies. We'd like to thank the Special Representative of the Secretary-General for Haiti and Head of the United Nations Integrated Office in Haiti, Maria Isabel Salvador, for her detailed briefing that she has given us about the situation that is affecting our brotherly country of Haiti. We also welcome His Excellency Mr. Jean-Victor Havel Jean-Baptiste, Foreign Affairs Minister of Haiti, and the Permanent Representative of Haiti, and we also welcome His Excellency Roberto Alvarez Gil, Foreign Affairs Minister of the Dominican Republic, Ms. Monica Juma, National Security Advisor to the President from Kenya, and Ms. Pascal Solage of Neges Mawon. We thank them all for being with us. Panama expresses our sincere condolences to the families of the 2,660 victims of homicides during the period under review by the Secretary-General's report. We'd also like to express our sincere condolences to the relatives of Samuel Katekwai and Benedict Kabiru, who were members of the police contingent of the multilateral support mission in Haiti, who lost their lives as they went about their duty. We also convey this message to Kenya, recognizing with deep respect their bravery and solidarity to the Haitian people at this very difficult time. Currently in Haiti, more than 1 million people have been internally displaced. More than 5 million people are at high risk of acute food insecurity. 39% of medical facilities have been closed. All means of transport over water, sky or land are controlled by gangs, and hundreds of schools have been closed or destroyed. The reports that reflect this increasing insecurity in Haiti and the alarming figures should not, under any circumstances, lead us to normalize the tragedy that the Haitian people are experiencing. Because we are talking about millions of boys, girls, adolescents, young people, women, men, and older persons who have seen their right to live in peace and dignity taken away. What kind of life can someone who is fearing for their survival every second have? What space is there for a normal daily life in a city that has been isolated and taken over by gangs? The figures themselves do not always manage fully to capture the scale of the violence that the people in Port-au-Prince are facing. Above and beyond the increase in the incidents, we have unfortunately seen an escalation in the brutality of what has been going on. Attacks on patients in ambulance, an alarming increase in cases of gender-based sexual violence, including group rape of women and girls, as the SG's report has said, in the more than 1,200 documented cases. Panama believes that there's no doubt that the UN has to have a greater presence on the ground. In this context, we express our support both to BINU and also to the MSS, and we would like to pay tribute to them for their efforts and their constant work facing up to an increasing need for human and financial resources, which are critical if we are going to be able to speak about a future of peace, security, and progress for the people of Haiti. The recommendations laid out in the Secretary-General's report some 2 months ago in a note directed to members of this Council are a good starting point to move in this direction and to translate commitments into specific actions on the ground, actions that need to be tailored to the reality in Haiti and to the region of Latin America and the Caribbean. In particular, we think it is critical that BNU include a specialized unit that supports Haitian authorities in the implementation of the arms embargo. This effort must go hand in hand with strengthening the national mechanisms and processes to implement and comply with sanctions by all member states. We also express our deep concern about the increasing number of children and teenagers that have been recruited by the gangs. BNU needs to have the requisite level of resources and functions to carry out safe exit programs, disarmament and reintegration, which prioritize these vulnerable people. At the same time, any strengthening of the multinational missions capacities or the Haitian National Police's capacities must bear in mind its impact on civilians, and every security measure must avoid exacerbating even further the humanitarian crisis. Significantly improving security involves much more than just presence in the streets. It means strengthening the institutions, and it has to involve political will. In this regard, we urge the Transitional Council to reaffirm their commitment to lead this process responsibly. President, almost 220 years ago, Haiti gave a lesson to the world. It became the first country in the world to abolish slavery. This act of dignity and bravery didn't just mark a landmark in the history of human rights, it also inspired our entire region, including our country, to follow the same example in our struggle for independence from colonial powers and to reclaim the rights of persons of African descent in Latin America and the Caribbean. It is this spirit of struggle for liberty and justice that remains in Haitian civil society and in the people at large. In this context, we recognize the recent statement by the President of France, Emmanuel Macron, who said that the debt imposed on Haiti in 1825 was unjust. Today, we must say clearly to the Haitian people that they're not alone, that we are assessing all possible options to provide solutions to a crisis that must be led by the Haitian people, but also supported by this Council and by the international community. Because Haiti deserves better days, and that is why they deserve our full support. Thank you.